In the Getting Started video, we looked at existing songs to learn the basic steps of song construction. Now, we'll get hands-on with creating a brand new song. When you first load Renoise, the song will be empty, which is what we need, but if you've got something else loaded in, you can simply select New Song from the File menu, or use the shortcut Ctrl-N, Command-N on the Mac. The disk browser is at the bottom right of the interface, which should be visible, but if it's not, just click the button here. This is where songs, instruments, samples and other files are loaded and saved. Renoise comes installed with a selection of these files, and we'll be loading in some percussion samples to create a simple beat. Select the Samples button, and you should see this selection of sample directories. If you don't, then you're not in the Renoise file library, but you can easily get there with this shortcut button. Double click on the Kicks folder to enter it and see the kick drum samples contained within. Double click on the DH kick sub offered file, and you can see that it's been loaded into the song at the top of the instrument selector. As mentioned in the Getting Started video, most of the keys on the computer keyboard represent musical notes like a piano keyboard. Feel free to play around, nothing will be recorded at the moment. The note we want to use though is C in the 4th octave, which is the Z or Z key. Now let's take a look at the pattern editor, which is where notes are recorded and played. The highlighted cursor here shows our current position, and will record notes we play when edit mode is activated. To do this, press Escape on the keyboard. A red border will surround the pattern editor to show that edit mode is active. Press Z or Z on the keyboard, and you can see that the note has been recorded. Renoise sequences notes vertically, so to complete this part of the beat, use the up and down arrow keys on the keyboard to move around, and record a note by pressing Z on every 4th line. By default, every 4th line is highlighted, so you can use this as a guide, but if you make a mistake, simply move back to that note and press delete. Keep going until you reach the end of the pattern. You can play back what you've just recorded by using the play button, or more quickly with the keyboard shortcut spacebar. Pressing space again will stop the song, and pressing escape will exit edit mode so that any key presses we make won't get recorded. Now let's load in another sample. First, click on the next slot in the instrument selector so that we don't overwrite the kick drum. Then, back in the disk browser, click the parent button to move up in the directory tree and double click on the snares folder. If you activate the speaker button at the bottom of the disk browser, you can hear what each of the samples sound like with a single click of the mouse, which is useful if you're not sure which one you want. This one is rather aptly named Useful, so double click on it to load it in. Back in the pattern editor, you can see that it's divided up into separate tracks. You'll typically want to put each different sound into its own track. So notes for the snare drum will be recorded into a separate track from the kick drum. The cursor can be moved across with either the arrow keys or tab to skip a whole track, while shift tab will move you backwards through the tracks. Now move to the top of the pattern with the arrow keys, the mouse wheel, the slider at the side, or just press F9. The snare will be played on every second beat, which means that they will be 8 lines apart instead of 4. So move down to line 4 with the arrow keys, and let's make use of a shortcut to record the notes much quicker. Move the mouse over the edit step option and change the value to 8. Now when we enter edit mode with escape and press Z, the cursor automatically moves down 8 lines. This is incredibly handy for simple rhythms like this because you can just hold down the key and fill up the pattern. Okay, let's finish up the beat with some more samples. Select the next empty instrument slot and we'll make things easier for ourselves by expanding the disk browser a bit. Click, hold and drag on the separation bar here and hit the new parent button to move up a level. Now we can click on directories to see their contents and also reveal subdirectories. Let's grab 2 hi-hats, one open, one closed, and a cymbal. I've selected Loose Housey, Long Modern, and Nice 909. Move over to the next track with Tab and skip to the top with F9. Edit mode should still be active, but if it's not, just hit escape again. We want the edit step to be 4, but let's use a shortcut this time. Pressing Control or Command on the Mac and any number will change the edit step to that value. So press Control 4, make sure the selected instrument is Loose Housey and hold down Z. Move down 2 lines with the down arrow key so that the cursor is between the notes. Select Long Modern and hold down Z again. Tab to the next track, F9 to the top, select the cymbal and press Z once. There are a few tracks now, so it will be worthwhile renaming them to stay organised, since songs can quickly become quite complex. Double click on the track names and change them to something appropriate. Now press spacebar to play the beat and we'll begin adjusting the BPM of the song, which is its speed in beats per minute. You can adjust the BPM by using the left mouse button on the arrows, which will change it by 1, or the right mouse button, which will change it by 10. You can also put the mouse over the value box, left click and hold, then move the mouse up and down. Or you can just double click on the box and type in a number with the keyboard, finishing with enter. You can use these various methods to adjust the value of most things in Renoise, but whichever one you use, let's set a BPM of 130. That's almost it for this video. The final thing to do is name and save the song so we can use it later on for the next video where we'll be adding effects to the various tracks.